Hey guys, Break here. Today we're going to be opening up the mail from the past week on my various realms and seeing what's sold and seeing how much gold we have made. We're also going to be talking a little bit about flipping, which is what I've done to make almost all my gold this week. And we're going to be talking a little bit about deflation in World of Warcraft, which I believe is pretty serious at the moment, and which is why we are seeing less sales, at least the flippers, and some of us are seeing quite a lot less sales than we are used to. But anyway, let's open up the mail, and on this character I've got 212,000, all from BoE flips, and a plans braces flip, which I bought ages ago, but mostly from BoE flips, and usually through the BoE flips that I've been doing this week, make about double my gold back, maybe 50%, something like that, between 50 and 100%, so pretty good. For example, I bought the Kinch, whatever you say, for 35k, and we sold it for 70. I bought the Van braces for 25, sold for 42. So this is the kind of profit which we're making, which is very, very good. And if you guys do want to know the string I use to flip items on TSM, then I have told you before in the videos, but if you just type in this will search for all the raid gear between 340 and 400 item level. And if that comes up with a good deal, you can always buy it and then relist it for more. And yeah, it's how I've been making quite a lot of gold, and as you'll see on my other servers, it's been pretty good. For example, this right here, after our search, a 360 is on for 25k, and that seems fairly cheap. If you look on my server at the 360s, they're all at 35, 35, 40, and then there's one at 25. So it seems that we could buy this out and relist it for 34k or 33k, and we'd make a nice bit of profit. You know, again, nothing too amazing, but around 50%, maybe 40%, and that's pretty good. Obviously, you've got to pay attention to the 370s as well. They're all a lot higher, so that's fine. And the 355s, not that much difference. So 360 is good. I actually am going to buy this out. It also has leech on as well, which always helps slightly. Any bonus can always help you with your flipping. So I'm going to buy that out and then relist it for that 33k and make a nice bit of profit. And on to the next server, we have ourselves 107k. Again, a couple of bracers with a little bit of profit, usually about 50 to 100%, like I said before. Really, really good. Now, this is easier to do on the medium and lower pop servers, guys. So this is a super high pop server I'm on here, and it is a lot harder to do because there's a lot more people flipping, and there's a lot more people buying gear all the time, and there's just so much more gear on the auction house. It's a lot harder to kind of sort through and try and find some good deals. So if you're on a less populated server, flipping is definitely easier, particularly in terms of gear. But if you're on any server, it can work. You've just got to, get to know your market and get to know what the prices are going to be like. To give you an example of that, on this server right here, I have pretty much 300k in sales, a few battle pets, which I've talked about a lot before, how I sell battle pets on different servers. So that's always good, and particularly some of the new ones have been selling well. And then a few tasty BoE flips, one for 76k and one for 122k. And this is a much lower pop server. In fact, this is one of the lowest pop servers that I'm on. It's still like a medium, it's not like super, super low, but it is probably the lowest pop that I'm on. And if we look at the flips right here, for example, 30k, I bought the reinforced test subjects and we resold them for, 75, so well over double, like 150% profit. And then the slippers, which we bought just recently for 65k, and then they resold pretty quick for 122, so pretty much double. So again, we do make a lot more profit on these lower pop servers because just there are always more deals to be had. There's a lot less people flipping, and there's a lot less items, so you can price the way you want to. And don't be afraid to price high, guys. If there's no more of one item on the auction house, you can price it what you think is realistic to sell. There were no more of these slippers, and so I bought it for 60k. I looked at the region average price, and I looked at loads of different stuff, and I thought, why don't we put it up for double? Pretty much double, 122, and it sold pretty easily. So don't be afraid to price things highly, but obviously don't price things ridiculously, particularly on some servers when the sales just won't be there and it's going to take you years to sell. So it takes a bit of practice, but once you're used to it, you'll get to know the pricing of certain things, and it's going to make it a lot easier to make gold. If we just look at these here, they're any good deals. Again, look, the 355s are all on for about 40k, and then someone's put one on for 25k. So what we're going to do, we're going to buy out the 25, relist it for 40k, and we've just made 15k profit when it sells. Is there anything else? There is a 355, doesn't look too good. There's a 380 for 200k, which is kind of okay, but then there's another 380 for 220, so it's not really worth flipping that one. So we will leave it for now, guys. There's these two original 350 BoEs that could be okay because there's only one of them, but not really. They're already at 100k, which is about region average, so I won't bother. It depends how risky you guys want to be. Again, you could be really, really risky and, you know, flip loads and loads of stuff, or you could be more chilled and just think, I'm only going to flip things when there's an obvious deal. And particularly when you're starting out, I'd only flip things when there's an obvious deal. I wouldn't go just searching and then flipping whatever you think. You know, if there's no deal there, then don't bother. But if there is a deal, then go for it. So on our next server, we have ourselves 140k, again, a couple of BoEs. And as for the profits, I'm not sure how good these ones are. If you look here, the fluid resistance we bought for 30, resold them for 38. And the splatter guards we bought for 78, resold for 103. So the profits aren't great on this server, unfortunately, because I bought them quite early on and the price went down quite a lot. However, we still did make some profits, so nothing too bad. So on our next server, we have ourselves 332k. Again, a lot of my pets and a lot of my BoE flips making up the majority of the gold. Now, I have done videos before on the pet selling guy, so I probably won't talk about it much here, but basically what I do is I buy pets on realms where they're cheap, I learn them, then I log on to another realm where it's more expensive, I cage it and I sell it. And that's kind of what I do. And as for the profits of the BoEs on this server, we bought ourselves some leg wraps for 25k and 50k respectively, and sold them both for 90k. So we made like quadruple our gold on one and like double on the other, which was really nice. Then the van braces, not too much profit, 18k resold for 25, but still like 25% profit, not too shabby. Anyways, as I said at the start of the video, I do want to talk a bit about deflation in WoW as well, because it has been an issue recently. So for those of you who haven't really noticed, WoW has had some serious deflation recently because of a lot of reasons, particularly the mission table. There is a lot less gold being introduced into the economy because the mission table gives you basically no gold. Also, the in-game missions don't give you much gold and all that. So there's very few things. The world quests don't give you that much gold. There are very few ways to get sort of raw gold compared to Legion. And there are also a lot of gold sinks. For example, I'm not just talking about like the 5 million gold mount, obviously that made the rich people a bit poorer, but I'm just talking about in general, there's a lot of gold sinks, you know. Cost of reforging your Azerite is crazy at the moment. And also the cost of buying the bonus rolls is like 7k just to buy 2 bonus rolls. It was nothing like that in Legion, and in Legion you could use all the resources, which you can't this expansion, I don't believe. So there's just a lot more gold sinks, and it is, you know, it is becoming an issue. If you look at the general pricing, I'll do a separate video on this because it is kind of interesting, but the general price of mounts and stuff is just less. You know, the price of a random mount like a minion of Grumpus, or, you know, and even some sort of transmog Tabard of the Lightbringer, something like that, that's been around for ages. The price of that was climbing every single expansion because of inflation. But over the past year, it's actually gone down in price, which is pretty much unprecedented, and that kind of proves that the deflation is happening. Obviously, you can look at the WoW token as well and how crazy that's been going down. Some people don't think that that relates to inflation. Personally, I think it does, but whatever. But certainly the fact that you can buy only half the amount of WoW gold, which you could a year ago when you purchase a WoW token in game, that will have an impact to some extent on deflation, in my opinion. And that basically has led to the raid gear, even though being really high item level, selling for a lot less than it would have done in Legion. Personally, if deflation is happening, I'm not actually that bothered because I have quite a lot of raw gold, so it's just going to mean my gold is worth more, which is kind of nice. I'm not going to complain too much, but at the same time, it can be annoying for some people. It can make profits a bit weird, and like I say, for BoE flipping, it might not be the very best because there's less people just willing to spend crazy gold on something, whereas in Legion maybe they were a bit more likely to. Anyways, 200k on this server, including the wrists, 370 wrists, which we bought for 130k and resold for 200, so that was nice. On this server, just the 57k, a few pet sales, no BOEs. And next up, we have ourselves 100k, a couple of BOEs again, in fact the same one, just different item levels. And a similar thing on this server, 133k, selling the same BoE. Next up, with our bikini girl, we have ourselves 95k, another cheeky BoE sale. Bought this one for 55 and resold for 95, so almost double, which is pretty good. And on our final guy, we have ourselves another 100k, a pet and a BoE sale. So that is about it, guys, on my servers. Overall, that equals around 1.9 mil and a few other things that I've alluded before. So overall, we got about 2 million gold this week, which, like I say, compared to normal and compared to the end of Legion, maybe isn't that good. But for BFA standards, and considering the fact that it's my first time flipping BFA items and it is a bit deflated, the economy at the moment, I think that that's pretty good. Now, I only spend about an hour every day and a half doing this, maybe even 2 days because I've been quite busy this week. Basically, I've spent about 4 hours this week, so 4 hours and 2 million gold is pretty good. Obviously, a profit is, less than half that, so about 1 million gold profit, or 800k profit, shall we say. The pets are usually more, so could be up to 1 million gold profit, but in 4 hours 1 million gold is pretty decent. In fact, it's very decent, so I'm not going to complain too much. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little kind of discussion video, this mailbox opening, and the kind of guide on BoE flipping, and I hope showing you some sort of live BoE flips will help you out a bit. You guys can see that it's not so scary. You guys can copy my techniques if you like and see if you can make any gold. I know a lot of you have been using my techniques in the past and it has been very successful for you, and I'm very happy whenever that happens. So do let me know how things are going with your gold making. Have you made any BoE flips? Have you noticed any differences because of deflation? Let me know what you think. Thanks very much for watching, and until next time, see ya.